Hey, Warpugs. So, we're back with Zach, and it's time for another gun rant. Now, I have seen every single one of his gun rants up to this point. I have watched a good majority of them with the community, doing live streams and things like that. I have never just been so, I've never seen anyone know this much about guns, period. In fact, I think he was the introduction for a lot of the channels that you guys have recommended, such as Kentucky Ballistics, Fat Electrician, things like that. You got me into a whole new segment, and I'm pretty sure it was because of Zach's gun rants. So it opened up a whole new genre to me. Now, here's the thing. I have been a fan of Mike, I think it's Mike Burnfire, Mike Fire Burn, because my brain doesn't process information that well anymore. But I've been a massive fan of this channel because of it's veterans talking about veteran stuff, and I know, yeah, I'm there for that. But two, Zach sounds like he had the hair pull out experience that I did that was dealing with people sometimes. And it's very relatable when you hear somebody start talking about it. The anger management story was probably the best story that I've heard, because I can relate so heavily to that in so many different ways. Warpugs, all of the links are going to be in the description down below, mine and his, so be sure you check down there. Merch store is going to be down there. For some strange reason, the last t-shirt that I put together was the Blue Platoon shirt, so just remember, weaves eat for free. I'm so sad to say that. Let's get into this. Warpugs, it's time to hear about some guns. Let's go.
Yep, that's a sniper rifle, all right.
Yep, that is a 50 BMG rifle with a big old fucking drum mag.
That doesn't make any sense.
If this is like a rotary magazine, a 16-round 50 MG capacity is not out of the question.
Vengeance cannon.
Why does it have a bayonet?
Oh, it's like a bolo knife bayonet, which is really weird. But if we're ignoring the bolo knife bayonet, which we are for right now, we're just going to ignore that.
Yeah, we gotta ignore that.
Can we even? It's so big.
I'm ignoring it.
It makes
for
the
moment.
gun so front heavy.
I know, it's really stupid.
Yeah.
You wouldn't actually put that on the end of a sniper rifle because it's going to fuck up your barrel harmonics and it's going to throw off your shot every single time.
But at the same time, that barrel is so long that it might actually make for a good pole arm.
Yeah.
If you're trying to make a sniper rifle, don't put that fucking bayonet on the end. It fucks up everything. Anyway.
What if it's a pole arm first and a sniper rifle second?
That makes no
Then
sense,
it's a
man.
really bad sniper rifle.
Yes.
Or a really good pole arm.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Things that are designed to do two things usually don't do either of those things very well.
True.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
There's more to that phrase, though.
Yes.
Yeah?
Jack of all trades, master of none is always better than a master of one.
Is oftentimes better than a master of one, is the rest of that phrase.
So
Jack of all trades is generally a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
That is not a good thing for this gun. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. If that is like a clockwork rotary mechanism, like the Milcor MGL 140 is like a clockwork mechanism. The Amstel Striker is also like a clockwork mechanism.
What are these guns he's talking about?
If it's like that, then a 16-round magazine capacity is not out of the question.
and after daylight savings time, it's a 17-round magazine.
Oh my god, Mike. Look, it's an Owen submachine gun. Come on, man.
Hold on to it. Maybe we can use it later.
So the Owen submachine gun's super cool because it basically was designed by an Australian guy, like an Australian teenager. He left it in the shed before he went to war, and then his dad found it and was like, "Hey, I bet the Australian military would be interested in this." And the Australian military was like, "Fuck yeah, we like this thing. This is amazing." So they bought it. They brought Owen, the guy who made it, back from combat to redesign it and make more of them.
I'm sorry. The magazine sticking straight up will always be dumb.
No, it's actually really good because
No,
it means
really?
you don't have to have as strong of a spring. Also,
It will always be dumb.
no, it isn't. The iron sights are offset, so you don't have to look through. I realize you can't see it. You see how the front sight is like angled off the side of the barrel? It's the same thing with the rear sight. The rear sight's angled off the side of the barrel.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's not dumb. It's actually a really good idea. Having the magazine on the top is a good idea because it means that you don't have to have as strong of a spring because gravity aids in feeding.
Yeah, but then you also have a magazine in your face.
No, you don't. It's not really that bad, honestly.
If you say so.
I've fired them before.
Mike is literally. How has he fired this many guns and this many different types?
Or it's not as bad as you think it's gonna be. It does mean that if you're left-handed, it's kind of hard to use the gun. Mom, I want an Owen gun. Can we have an Owen gun? No, son, we have an Owen gun at home. Owen gun at home.
It's not obstructing my vision. The magazine isn't vertical. It's not good.
I want top speed magazine, goddammit. Give me my Bren guns. Give me my Owen guns. Give me my World War I Italian submachine gun that technically is an assault rifle, but actually isn't an assault rifle because it's a 9mm.
Gravity feed isn't a thing. Ooh.
Gravity assisted. Gravity assisted. It's not gravity feed.
Shut
Gravity
up.
feed is a different thing.
Shut
gravity
up.
feed is like a Colette pistol, like a parlor gun.
I love how Mike's getting frustrated trying to shit on it.
I did make an error the last time I talked about this gun. I said it was a double feed magazine. It's a double stack single feed magazine.
That's important.
I'm gonna use this World War II submachine gun. Whoa!
Watch out for Cazor's card.
Everyone's shooting at Cazors with overpowered guns. I'm out here with a Sten gun, just like, yeah! Look at me, I'm a commando!
That's why you're the meat shield. I mean point man.
Okay, it's actually pretty effective. Also, one of the things that I noticed that's wrong about this Sten gun, the bolt should be further back. The bolt in the Sten gun is a little bit longer than that. Alright, so if the gun is in this configuration like it is now, where the bolt is all the way forward, but you have a loaded magazine in there, you could potentially drop the gun, the bolt could move back far enough to grab around, chamber the round, and fire it. Because the way these early open bolt submachine guns work is they have a fixed firing pin, which means they don't have a hammer or anything. They just literally have a nub sticking out of the back of the bolt, so that once the round is chambered, it just fires it automatically.
That's a problem.
There is a safety concern on early submachine guns that when you're carrying it in this configuration with a loaded magazine, but the bolt all the way forward, even with the gun on safe, you could bump it against something hard enough for it to chamber and fire around.
Okay.
So the reason they put this notch back there is so that you can pull the bolt all the way back and engage it into that notch. So now, other than actually grabbing the bolt and moving it out of that notch to where the bolt will engage the sear, other than doing that, there's no way for the gun to fire. You have it! Is everything fixed now?
Maybe.
Oh god.
Can I see it? Can I see it?
You wanna give it a try?
Give it a try?
I have to hope it's working, but come on, but
Oh, it works! It
Yes.
works! The Owen gun works! Oh, wait, what's going on? Oh.
I have never heard him screaming so giddily about this.
Oh, the charging handle's clipping through the back of the gun.
so close. I'm so close.
We're like right there! We're right there! Whatever, I'm using it. I don't even care.
There you go.
Hey, that armor comes in women's sizes.
I'm not trying. Whoa, hold up. Why do you have an MG34?
Things are getting stranger
What?
every day.
It's one of those guns with built-in camouflage, but the camouflage function is glitching.
Thermoptic camouflage! No, seriously. Was I calling it an MG34 earlier?
Yes.
I think I was. It's an MG42. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I kept calling it.
I don't understand. How does he know this much about guns? It drives me crazy. It drives me crazy, but I love it nonetheless. The sheer fact that he can, like, I can't identify guns at a glance. I just can't. I really, really can't. I know what a 1911 looks like. I know what a Glock looks like most times, but past that, you can't ask that much of me. This guy is identifying rare guns at just a glance on someone's, like, on the ground, in a box. Now, the MG42, MG34, those are kind of iconic guns, but at the same time, I'm just continuously blown away by this guy. I really am.
An MG34. But when you look at the two of them, if you want to know the super cheat on how to tell the difference between an MG34 and an MG42 at a glance,
Please.
You might as well give me that information in case I need it.
Yes.
MG34 round, MG42 square. There you go. Look at the barrel shroud. I know it's engaging thermo-optic camouflage, so it's different. See how that part right there is square?
I see.
That's an MG42.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
MG34 is a round. It's like a tube with a bunch of holes drilled in it. You would love the MG34 because it's got holes. And the flowers for Algernon. Oh! 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 firing rate of an MG3. We're gonna skip over the fact that the loading animation is wrong because I have an MG42 and I don't care.
Okay.
There's a reason that it was colloquially known as Hitler's buzzsaw. There are U.S. military training videos from World War II that are basically like, yeah, this thing sounds really scary, but don't be too scared of it. It's more bark than bite. And it's U.S. propaganda because it's not more bark than bite.
It's also bark and bite.
It's bark and bite. It's a lot of bark and bite. On the MG34, this heat shield is round. And it's one solid round thing. And it just has a bunch of holes drilled in it, which I know you love.
Yes.
The MG42, it's made square. And it has a bunch of holes in it.
They all got holes in it.
Stamped in. It's for cooling. I mean, basically, the whole purpose of this is it's a heat shield. Also, the bipod is missing from this gun, which is interesting.
It got damaged, so they removed it.
I guess. On any high volume of fire machine gun, you really want to have a way to change barrels quickly. When the barrel starts getting too hot, you start losing accuracy because the barrel's expanding, so the bullets aren't actually meshing with the rifling anymore.
Yeah, it's starting to rattle around in the barrel.
Kind of. It just basically, it means your accuracy starts going out the window. So after a certain amount of rounds fired, you want to change barrels on them. The thing that's interesting about the MG34 is the way it works is the whole barrel shroud assembly. You basically pop that forward, and this whole thing hinges outwards, and the barrel slides out through the back.
It's so crazy that you have a gun with a detachable barrel. I don't know how often I've seen that.
Have you seen a 249 or a 240 Bravo?
I guess I have,
Then
yeah.
you've seen it.
I
Those both have detachable barrels.
I guess
They have quick change barrels on
I've
them.
never seen the barrels be...
Usually, with machine guns,
About this time, if I was doing a live stream, there would be about 3,000 comments saying bent barrel of a Bradley.
when they're issued out to soldiers, generally they're issued the machine gun and then 1 to sometimes upwards of 4 spare barrels.
Huh.
The easiest way to tell the difference between an MG34 and an MG42, this part right here, the barrel and shroud assembly or heat shield assembly, MG34 is round, MG42 is square. That's the easiest way to tell the difference between the two of them.
Gotcha.
Sweet.
And then if it's in a different caliber, it's 3.
It's the MG3, yeah.
Okay.
I just can't get over the fact that it's got a detachable barrel. Like, you're
Yeah.
already swapping out belts of ammo.
Yeah.
So, man, how many more parts do you need to constantly be supplying this thing?
The things that having quick change barrels on a belt-fed machine gun is something that is necessary because, as I said, when you get into high volumes of fire, and I'm talking like 2,000 to 3,000 rounds you're firing in just like long strings of ammo, that barrel's gonna get real hot to the point that it's gonna start glowing. I have literally used a machine gun to cook bacon before. Wrapped bacon in aluminum foil and shoved it in between the heat shield and the barrel and just fired it a whole bunch and it cooked the bacon for me.
Not sure that's the best
Delicious.
way to do cooking.
No, it's a terrible way to cook bacon, but it's fun. At least I can say that I've cooked bacon with a machine gun.
All right.
We cooked eggs on the deck of the ship. We that was the breakfast. Take some aluminum foil, put it on the deck, crack some eggs open in the Gulf. You're gonna be fine.
You know what's something else I've done with a machine gun that you're not supposed to do with a machine gun?
Uh,
I cut down a tree with one.
Okay.
Yeah, I shot at a tree with a 50 caliber machine gun until it fell down.
that's
Okay, I guess you
satisfaction.
can do that. You're a lumberjack now.
Yeah, the tree made me a lumberjack.
Sweet.
I can understand having spare parts around in case they get damaged, but the fact that you have to swap out the barrel when it inevitably overheats almost feels like it's a design flaw.
No, it's
nah.
not a design flaw. It's a very good thing because it's going to overheat. There's nothing you can do about it. If you're firing a lot of rounds, it's going to overheat. You can get around the quick change barrel feature by doing more slower, more controlled burst, but sometimes you just got to throw a 300 round belt in there and then just keep doing like 10 round bursts at things. Sometimes you just got to lay down a lot of suppressive fire and then you're going to have to change barrels. The nice thing about this one with the quick change barrel being on this side is that if you have 1 or 2 assistant gunners, if you have an assistant gunner who's doing a real good job supplying you with ammo, keeping this thing fed, he can come to the other side of the machine gun, pop that thing open, swap a new barrel into it, like really, it is fast.
It's like a NASCAR pit stop your
Yeah,
gun.
it kind of is.
Nice.
Like this thing, you can change barrels on this fast. It's real. You basically pop that lever forward, barrel will basically go ka-dunk and pop out. You can grab onto it with like an asbestos glove, rip the barrel out, slap a
Asbestos.
new one in there, slam it closed, hit the gunner on the back of the head, and now you're ready to go.
I would certainly hope you can swap out barrels fast if that's what you have to do to use the gun.
Yeah. And then now your barrel is just cooling down while you wait for it to be ready. Your barrel is cooled down enough, and now it's ready to go.
Isn't the person who's swapping out your barrel gonna burn themselves on your super hot charged barrel?
That's why usually the assistant gunner's kit will include some type of
oven mitts.
Yeah, basically, yeah. When I handle suppressors or machine guns on a regular basis, I literally get an UV glove. I go to the store and I buy an UV glove, which is just a high temperature glove, and I just use that to handle everything.
That's not a bad
idea. I quite literally have a hot pad that is made by Mechanics, the company that makes Mechanics gloves. Mm-hmm. It's made by them specifically for handling suppressors.
And I'll tell you this, Mechanics gloves are the best thing ever. Mechanics gloves are literally the best thing ever. If you do not, if you work with your hands at all, if you do anything with your hands as far as profession and you're not using Mechanics gloves, you're doing yourself a disservice. They really do. They make life easier.
I have a little bag. It's basically just an envelope that you can just shove a suppressor into, and it's made of high temperature material so I don't melt my gun case.
Okay.
You say that's weird, but the early machine guns, literally part of the BII for early machine guns was a water jug. When you look at early machine guns, you'll notice that the barrel looks like it's huge. And the barrel isn't actually huge. It's a massive heat shroud that is filled with water. Because the barrels on the early machine guns were actually relatively thin. Because what they would do is they would put a thin barrel in there and just surround it with water.
Water cool your barrel.
Yep, they're just all like water-cooled guns. It was really only when they started putting machine guns on airplanes that they were like, oh shit, we can air-cool these things.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird. A lot of these early machine guns where they're trying to figure out how to do like air cooling and stuff is weird. And then they realized that you can reduce a lot of bulk from a machine gun by getting rid of these weird air cooling and water cooling jackets. You just get rid of that and just put a quick change barrel in it.
Yeah, but now you're carrying around 4 or 5 spare barrels?
Which, water weighs a lot, man.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
4 spare barrels weighs a lot less than carrying around 6 gallons of water to keep pouring into your machine gun.
That's
True.
actually fair.
So, yeah. The machine gunner, the guy carrying this thing, isn't the one carrying all the spare barrels.
Oh, some poor guy.
The MG42 was designed to work with a team of, let's say, 4 soldiers. You have the gunner, you have the assistant gunner, and a support gunner and a support gunner.
Right.
The AG and 2 support gunners are probably each carrying a barrel.
That makes
sense. The assistant
sense.
gunner is probably carrying a bunch of ammo.
That makes
sense. And then
sense.
the 2 support gunners are also probably carrying ammo.
I see.
You have an entire machine gun team dedicated to keeping this thing shooting bullets at people.
Wouldn't it be easier just to have 4 people with their own firearms?
Not really.
So yes, you could just give them rifles, but then now basically what you have is you have one guy with a machine gun who is trying to do the entire machine gun thing by itself, and it's a crew-served weapon.
Well, I'm saying instead of having 1 machine gun team, you have 4 people with assault rifles, and they're putting roughly the same bullets downwind, and also they can't singularly get picked off because there's 4 of them.
They didn't really have assault rifles when combat doctrine was developed
Right.
around this.
So you're saying we've moved past machine guns?
No, we still use general purpose machine guns. Like
Yes.
to this day, we still use general purpose machine guns. Just the way they are utilized in combat has vastly changed from the way Germans were using them in World War II.
Right.
I guess
The advent of machine guns, they were what caused so much devastation during the World Wars. The actual advent of machine guns, we just did not have, the tactics hadn't caught up to it yet. The tactics had not caught up to what the machine gun could put downrange. And ever since we figured out a way to actually send a lot of rounds downrange in a relatively short amount of time with weapons like the pickle gun and things like that, I mean, we were in a not only arms race but a tactics race to figure out how to get around it. And you can take a look at documentaries that talk about, you know, what happened when groups that were not that familiar with machine guns would wind up going against them, and it was universally a massacre.
those 3 people that are supporting the machine gun can still support the machine gun in between swapping out barrels and swapping out ribbons of ammo. They don't have to be sitting there waiting for the barrel to get hot. They can put a few rounds down range.
Yeah, they can still be doing like supporting fire, which is something that does happen. Is, you know, you've got the AG, who basically, the AG, his job is just to keep this thing fed.
And the other guys are carrying ammo, really.
The other guys are carrying ammo. They're maybe linking more belts together to give to the AG. They're maybe getting a barrel ready to shoot the machine gun. But in the time between doing that stuff, you're probably multitasking and occasionally taking pot shots at the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It makes so much sense.
the MG42 is one of my favorite machine guns. Just the fact that it is still in service today as the MG3 is incredible to me. It's like they did it right the first time.
Yeah.
Well, third time.
I mean, they did it so right that all they had to do was change the caliber.
And change the shape of the barrel.
Well, that was the MG34, which is a different gun.
Okay, is it? All right.
Yeah, the MG34 is a different gun. It uses a similar operating principle, but it is a vastly different gun.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. The way the barrel comes out is different. The way a lot of the internals work is different. Interesting fact, when they went to the MG42, the MG34 was actually still in use in tanks. So the reason that they used the MG34 on tanks was because you needed way less space to be able to change barrels on it.
Huh.
Space is a premium inside a tank.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It had some advantages.
You don't need as much space, and also, if it's inside a tank, it's not going to get covered in as much mud as it would if you're a soldier running around and falling down and dropping your machine gun.
Unless the tank in front of you peeled out really fast.
Yeah, unless they do a burnout, just do like get a stug right in front of you, just doing a sick burnout, just and then the entire time they're playing like Thug Life, and then the stug driver's just going, I didn't choose the stug life, the stug life chose me.
And he pops
Stop. Just stop.
a wheelie. I guess it'd be more of a tready.
Tready.
Treading.
Yeah, I absolutely love this machine gun. The fact that militaries are still using the MG42 just as the rechambered in 308 as the MG3 is incredible to me.
It's always crazy when a gun is designed right the first time, and
So many machine guns owe their lineage directly to the MG42. Like the M60 basically wholesale copied the MG42 feed tray cover.
All right.
They are like almost identical in terms of how they work on the inside. The feed system is very similar between the 240 and the MG42. They just nailed it.
all right. Shall we go use it to secure a book?
What?
This machine gun is hello. This machine gun is so prolific, and they made so many of them, and they're so effective that I straight up saw them still World War II issued MG42s being confiscated and used in Iraq.
Wow.
Ooh. I found a
God.
Gyrojet carbine.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, it's a mini rocket launcher.
This is the precursor to the bolter.
How is it now?
Yep, not even kidding. It's literally a tiny rocket launcher. When the firing pin is struck, the little tiny rocket actually takes off out the end of the gun, and it's spin stabilized, so that the jets come out of the back of the rocket at like an angle, which makes it spin as it goes through the air.
Gyroscopically stabilized.
Yes.
Is it related to the Gyrojet pistol?
Yeah. It's one of the only guns that the bullet actually starts going faster after it leaves the barrel.
Yep.
That's not how the laws of physics work.
Because the rocket has to get up to speed.
Fascinating, almost fantasy weapon.
Yeah, they're
Yep.
really it's definitely this weird like space age future gun.
This is actually the closest thing we have to a bolter from 40K. This is the closest thing that we have to a bolter in 40K. The actual round mechanics work pretty much the same. The everything about this gun is pretty much the same. The kind of round follows the same kind of principles. So yes, this thing fires bolts, and it is awesome. It is absolutely awesome.
Shoots magic.
My wife needs a gun, but her little wrist can't pull the slide back on a Glock 19. So get her something easy. Get her something easy to use, like a 357 Magnum snub nose.
She can't handle the slide out of a gun, but she can handle the recoil from a revolver.
No.
What? How are you smarter than most of the boomers that come in and ask for a revolver?
Oh, the joys of working at a gun store.
No.
Congratulations, Mike. You, knowing nothing about guns, are actually smarter than most of these people.
Know nothing about
No.
guns. That's an indictment on you. I've been traveling with you. You've been talking about them for 6 years.
I got problems. Love lost.
What?
Your lips move, but I can't hear what you're saying. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. What the? It's got a tiny skull. Oh man, I hate this.
He's got a little tiny little skull on him.
All right.
What's that called when they slam shackle it?
He kit bashed it. Basically.
He kit bashed it.
So we've got the back of. This looks like the back of the Bozar.
What?
This is the receiver of the machine gun. Up here.
The barrel is from an M16A2.
The handguard is from the assault carbine. It's got a box magazine from something. The pistol grip is from the Gauss gun. It's got like a weird muzzle brake on it, and then it's got a scope from something else, which it looks, I don't know what the hell. For some reason, it's a Leupold scope. I can tell because it's got the gold ring around the end of it, and then the little Leupold logo.
All held together with a little tiny Legion flag.
And then the rear sight is off like an M1 carbine. What the? Yeah, this thing is like a weird kit bashed gun. Ace of clubs?
Oh, did you find a new weapon?
I think so.
What do we got?
What the? Jeez!
Yeah?
The fuck?
It's a Gauss pistol.
Okay, so
Nice.
Han Solo's blaster, but it's a single shot. It uses five.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
It's cool looking.
No, it's not.
So it's a Mauser broom handle with a hunting rifle stock attached to it, upside down, with the barrel of a Gauss rifle?
A mini.
I'm literally terrified of the future. I'm literally terrified of the future now. I don't even know what I'm looking at.
Miniaturized Gauss rifle.
And it's got a giant ace of clubs.
Oh, there's
Oh,
the
there we
namesake
go.
right there.
It's Mike. It's a Wowzer.
A Wowzer?
It's a Mauser C97. Is the
Okay.
original version of this. But then Chinese companies made knockoff versions of it, and sometimes they would try to write the logo in English.
The Wowzer broom handle.
Yeah, so it would just say Wowzer on it.
All right.
Nice.
So the Ace of Clubs is the first one I had. This is the Ace of Diamonds. Jeez, it's a Schnellfeuer!
What?
I probably pronounced that incorrectly, but there's a full auto version of the Mauser broom handle that's called the Schnellfeuer, which
Oh.
basically means fast fire because it's full auto.
The Endless Tragedy? That's the name.
That's a name.
That is a name.
It's a 1911 with trench sights and a suppressor. Okay.
Is it a pink pistol? Because that's kind of cool.
It's like copper. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a commander size 1911, so it's smaller grip. Barrel is slightly smaller. It's got a ring hammer on it, which is pretty cool.
Ah, I like it.
Suppressor built
That's
into
not an
it.
integrated suppressor.
And trench sight. A lot of people don't like trench sights. I really like trench sights for close range stuff, but anything more than about 15 yards in trench sights are kind of pointless. What the fuck is metal bit?
What?
What weapon is this, Zach? It's a hunting shotgun of some sort.
Yeah, it's an over-under shotgun that also the animation pack is broken for, but we'll gloss over that really quick.
Do that.
All right.
Yeah, see, look what happens when I fire twice.
It didn't really break open anything, did
It
it?
didn't actually break open anything. Yeah, that's a weird shotgun.
Yeah, it's
I
kinda
don't
weird.
like it.
No, you're not even gonna look at it very much.
No,
All right.
it's really. So the bottom part is from a laser gun. I don't know what the fuck that stock is from. The fore end's from an over-under shotgun, and then it's got like a heat shield on the top barrel.
Another kit bashed weapon, huh?
Yeah, I don't like it. Oh. What? Why does it have a lever action receiver on the back of it?
Yes?
Where are those bullets coming out of? Okay, I need to drop this thing and look at this.
Go for it.
This whole episode is just going to be Zach rants about how these guns shouldn't exist. There's no trigger guard, which is just a nightmare in and of itself.
Well, why is a trigger guard important anyway?
Because it makes sure that you don't accidentally bump the gun against something, and that hits the trigger, and the gun just goes off.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got a CAR-15 stock or a CAR-15 stock on here.
Also known as an AR-15 stock.
We've got the handguard of
Looks like an M4.
AR-15 front sight, but this receiver, it's the lever action rifle receiver. There's the side loading gate.
Uh-huh.
You can even see the two locking blocks that go on the bolt. Again, it's just kit bashed stuff together.
So,
There you go.
probably wouldn't function in real life.
No,
No.
it definitely would not.
Anybody else have a fun gun?
The cross machine gun.
The
I wanted
what?
to come here to test out the weapons, and we keep finding more weapons to test out.
Wait, what the fuck is on the front of this? So yeah, it's a submachine gun. It's an M3 grease gun.
Does it have a bait? It has a. Just why? Just why?
We've been over the M3 grease gun before, but it's got a really long bit.
What?
Why? Why? So apparently, this person thinks that this barrel on the top of it is where the round should come out of an M3 grease gun, not the barrel on the bottom that the bayonet is attached to.
I thought I was looking at that wrong. I was looking at it right. That's actually disturbing.
The bullet actually does come out.
That's where the bullet actually comes out. So
Yes.
the bullet would be coming out and hitting the back of this
Knife, yeah.
Okay, yeah. The vaporizer.
Yo.
Yikes.
Ooh, Gauss sniper rifle, maybe?
It's like a Gauss submachine gun.
Neat! Oh, that could be fun.
That works.
Let's drop this gun really quick and take a look at it, because this thing is another abomination that shouldn't exist. So we've got the 22 submachine gun, which, as I've said before, is based on the AM-180 22 submachine gun. But then it's got a lever action rifle barrel sticking out of it, and it's got the optic from, I'm pretty sure, a Gauss rifle, and also a glowy bit on the back.
Ah, the glowy bit makes it fire the Gauss stuff.
Yeah, it's a Gauss rifle with 4 rocket barrels attached to the end of it.
Oh, okay, that is absolutely Ratchet and Clank right there.
Yeah, that's real dumb.
It's kind of fun, though.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. That
As long as the kit bash weapons are good and fun, I don't have a problem with that.
that is just gonna rip your hand open.
Were you talking about the safety lever?
No, I'm talking about the bolts on the side of the handguard. That's just gonna rip your hand open the moment you... Why is there a little tiny bolt, like a bolt action rifle bolt,
On the left side?
on the left side of this thing? Why is that there? That's the top cover. That's where this little tab sticking out of the back. That's where the recoil spring is. What the fuck? What am I looking at here? There's literally...
It's a gun with cables in it.
For some reason, there's 10 million cables going to the back of the stock. Or I guess that's where you store the battery for your airsoft gun. Cool.
Where the tech is stored. The tech is stored there.
This is made out of a tree branch. You can see where the extra branch is sticking out of it, but they actually shaped the rest of the stock. The butt stock is partially broken.
This is the post-apocalypse. We're making do with what we got.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
There's like 3 bolts sticking out of the handguard, which are immediately going to catch your hand in the most painful way possible.
Yeah, maybe catch your hand. I'm gonna be careful.
The magazine is... I don't know what is going on with that. It's got a thing on it that says power.
It's high tech.
It can't be that high tech. They still have the slant muzzle brake on it. A compressed air cylinder. And then again, why is there a little tiny bolt handle on that? This is, okay, you know what this is?
Do tell.
This is when they make a gun out of resin for a film so that they can drop it and they don't have to worry about breaking it.
Nice.
That's what that is.
I think it looks future tech.
This is like well, you know what? You are more than welcome to use it.
Thank you for your blessing.
Because you're poor. And only poor people use AKs. There's like a mechanism
Brandon Herrera would argue with him.
from a side folding stock that's up towards the front where the trunnion would be.
Yeah, but I'm not a big fan of trunnions.
Okay.
It's a laser weapon.
Plasma, Mike. Plasma.
I don't know the
Plasma.
difference.
Huh. I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Hey,
The assault rifles were really common in Fallout 3, but oh my god, it's even...
You can't ADS. It is the one from Fallout 3.
Yeah.
the assault rifles in Fallout 4 are not assault rifles. I don't even know what they're supposed to be, but they're hideous.
Oh my god. Oh god, I just realized how much is fucking wrong about this poor G3. Holy shit. Alright,
He
alright.
knows-
I'm
Oh
sorry,
my
we're getting
God.
another gun rant here.
Let's go.
There is so much stuff wrong about this gun. The handguard
Doesn't have enough holes in it.
is oval for some reason and doesn't actually line up with where the receiver is. The cocking tube doesn't line up with where the receiver is. If you know anything about firearms, you see this thing above the barrel and you think, oh, gas tube. This is not a gas tube on the G3. That is the tube for the cocking handle, actually.
Oh. Ooh.
Because the G3 doesn't actually have a gas system.
Okay.
This handguard is based off of the original G3 handguard. It's a very slim, streamlined handguard, basically identical to the one that was on the SETME, which is what the G3 is based off of. That's oval shaped for some reason.
I don't know why it's oval
A
shaped.
bit elongated, yes.
Yeah. The magazine actually looks about as right as you could get it. Interestingly, you see those 2 holes that are in the stock?
Yeah.
Do you know what those 2 holes are for?
Speed.
No, those 2 holes are for those 2 pins right there. Because those pins are not captive, so you take the pins out and then you put them into the stock so you don't lose them.
Oh, they're pin-holding holes.
Yep. The rear sight has a 1 on that line
What?
right there is a 1, and you can see this big V notch that's in there. That is actually correct, but they didn't actually put it where you would use it. Because so this is what's called a diopter sight. It's got 3 holes and then that notch in it. Each one of the holes is for like different distances, and
Okay.
the farther away the distance is,
How does he know this much stuff about this gun? I have never even heard of this gun. It just amazes me how much gun knowledge that he has. It is stunning to me how much he knows.
the smaller the hole is.
Right.
But they didn't actually put any of the other holes in there.
Just one
So
hole.
it's just got 1 V notch on the side, which isn't pointed the direction the sight would be. The selector lever is way far forward.
Yeah, kind of.
It's also tiny. I don't know why they made the selector lever so tiny and moved it so far forward. It should be directly above the pistol grip, basically so your thumb can rest on it.
Right. Maybe the person who got this firearm had a genetic deformity that gave him super long thumbs, and that was comfortable for him.
Maybe. The charging handle, interestingly, they actually skeletonized the charging handle, which is something they did on the later ones, but not the earlier ones, I think. I could be wrong. I might be getting that backwards. But for some reason, it's angled down at like a 45 when it should be up at like a 30-degree angle. It's, I don't know why the charging handle's like pointed down like that. That doesn't make any sense. The flash hider looks weird. Interestingly, I believe the selector was also on semi-auto.
But it's full auto.
Which this is on full auto.
Yes.
There's no hole in the sight. It's too narrow.
Obviously, maybe that's why you're not aiming down sights, because you ain't got good
Oh yeah,
sense.
because I don't have sights to use.
There you go.
No, it's fine. We filled in the back of it because you're supposed to use the bend-in aiming concept.
We filled in the sights with cement.
Yeah, we filled in the back of it because you're
What?
supposed to use the bend-in aiming
What is the bending aiming? What is this? What are these terms that he is using?
concept. Just keep both eyes open and your brain will superimpose the image.
What the hell is that?
All right, we're just gonna pretend that this operates like an M1 Garand because apparently it does. Those shotgun shells are just floating. They're not supported by any kind of chamber. So the moment you pull the trigger on this thing, the shell is just gonna grenade in your hands. It's not gonna be fun. And then why is there a coil wrapped around the barrel? And
No
why do I
idea.
have the muzzle brake off of the anti-material rifle? There's a bayonet attached to it, which, okay. Well, hold up. That is literally the speed loader from the revolver. What is this gun? What is this gun? Ooh, this thing is ugly.
But is it functional?
I mean, yeah, it worked. The front iron sight on it is literally the eagle from atop of a flag.
Love it. That's kind of
Oh,
fun.
and it's a single shot, too.
Oh,
Yikes.
that's a bit rough.
The icon makes it look like a G3, but in-game, it's a weird mishmash of AK and AR slapped together somehow.
Okay.
Kit
An
bash.
AKR, eh?
Yeah, it's got like the handguard of an AK on it, and the front sight is very AK reminiscent. The stock is literally made out of a piece of pipe.
Yeah, it is makeshift for a reason.
It is very makeshift.
All
Yes,
things
it is.
considered, it's a relatively normal-looking firearm.
I mean, it looks okay. Let's see what this makeshift pistol looks like. Oh, Lord. Oh, God, the barrel is quite literally a lead pipe.
Yeah, it is. Maybe they riveted the inside of it. They rifled the inside of that thing, yeah.
It only holds 2 shots?
Really? I feel like that clip has more than...
That clip has way more than 2 rounds in it.
Yep. 8 of those bullets go into the nether realm.
What the hell?
It just eats ammo, literally.
It's funny because when I do that, it's like when a skeleton drinks something, where it just all comes out the bottom of the magazine well.
Yeah.
And there's actually 2 barrels in the gun.
Nice.
It's so bad that it's not even the handle. The handle is made of an actual knife.
That's so bad.
The handle is made of an actual. Wow, this is.
It's a handle bladed.
This thing should not exist. This thing is awful.
Time to step down, Smith and Meth, son. There's a new junky gun on the streets. I really don't like how this looks.
You don't like the makeshift shotgun?
No, man, it's bad. For some reason, it's got an M79 rear sight on it. I don't know why. And then, like, the shotgun shells aren't there's not even a chamber on this gun. They're not supported by anything.
It's a gun made out of magic. Isn't that something that appeals to you?
No, it doesn't. And also, I hate that it makes the M1 Garand ping for no reason whatsoever. There's nothing correct about this gun.
Fine, use the regular shotgun.
The only good thing about the makeshift shotgun is that I can break it down into tiny parts to replace some of the springs that are missing on my lever action.
Okay.
Nice. Warpugs. That was a fair amount of guns. Now, it seemed like this one was more about the kit bash versions that they put into the game. He didn't identify as many of the... Well, he identified everything pretty much. But at the same time, this had less guns in it as far as, you know, his other gun rants have gone, and more about the kit bash weapons that he picked up along the way. The ones that just shouldn't exist, that last one was a particular abomination. That one and the shotgun sniper rifle were particular abominations that need to be deleted from source. Those were just nightmarish. Warpugs, thank you for recommending this. Diclonius, thank you for this recommendation because I needed a laugh today. I've had kind of a little bit of a rough day. So it was good to sit back and laugh and listen to somebody talk about something that they're an expert in. Quite frankly, I'm a big fan of doing that. I believe that you should listen to experts in a particular field, even if you don't know anything about it and will barely understand anything they're saying. I think it's always good to listen to people that know a lot about what they're talking about. And Zach definitely knows about guns. Warpugs, all the links are going to be in the description down below. I highly recommend that you check out more, especially if you're a veteran. It is therapy to listen to these two talk about pretty much everything and anything. And that is why anytime you guys have recommended something by them, I just, between Zach and Mike, I just want to sit down and pay attention to what they have to say because, my God, it is some of the best things ever. Warpugs, this is Mike Burnfire, and I am taking a look to see what kind of things in the description he has. He was talking about the 50 BMG Vengeance, the Owen SMG and Sten gun, MG42, which I learned a lot about the MG42 that I just flat out didn't know. So, Warpugs, I hope you had fun with this. Thank you for recommending it. All the links are in the description below. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. And I'll catch you guys next time.